Welcome to this explainer. I want you to imagine, just for a second, that very first moment you drop into a brand new world. You know the feeling, right? The sun's coming up, painting everything in these incredible, vibrant colors. A breeze kind of rustles through those square leaves. You look around, and you are totally, utterly alone. You wake up on a beach, or maybe you're deep in a forest, and you've got literally nothing but your bare hands and this endless horizon in front of you. It feels like a completely untouched blank canvas, just waiting for you to make your mark. But as you start wandering around, well, that illusion of a pristine, empty world shatters pretty fast.
Because you quickly realize you aren't actually the first one here. Which begs the question, so where is everyone? I mean, think about it. Scattered all over this massive landscape are these incredibly complex structures. You literally stumble onto massive desert temples that are half buried in the sand. You dive down and find towering ocean monuments glowing with this eerie blue light under the water. You dig down into the earth and hit miles of intricate abandoned mine shafts held up by decaying wood. Somebody built those. Somebody else carved out those deep slate walls, engineered the underground strongholds, and just left behind chests stuffed with diamonds and enchanted books. Today, we're diving into what I think is the absolute most haunting story hidden right in plain sight, the legend of the ancient builders.
Section 1. The Golden Age. So long before you ever opened your eyes in this world, there was a grand civilization dominating the landscape. We're stepping back into what we can really only call their Golden Age. Now, we aren't talking about those simple trading villagers you see huddling in their tiny towns today. No. These were beings of immense, unbelievable capability. Master architects, unparalleled alchemists, they absolutely owned every single corner of their reality. They didn't just scrape by. They conquered the land, the seas, the deep underground. They built those massive mine shafts to pull the richest resources out of the earth. They engineered incredibly complex redstone machinery. We're talking pistons, repeaters, full-on circuitry that basically automated their sprawling cities. They even managed to bind cosmic energy into books and weapons using enchanting tables. And if that wasn't crazy enough, they cracked the code on interdimensional travel, constructing these towering obsidian gateways into a literal hellscape of fire and ash, the Nether. They were at the absolute peak of their power.
But you know how these stories go. With all that mastery, with total dominion over the overworld and the Nether, they got arrogant. Their thirst for knowledge, for power, it just had no limits. It wasn't enough to just build and conquer anymore. They became obsessed with the fundamental laws of life and death. In their pursuit of ultimate power, they literally began to play God.
Which brings us to Section 2, the Wither Apocalypse.
That arrogance, it became the catastrophic turning point that wiped their golden age right off the map. Deep in those treacherous nether fortresses, the builders found something called soul sand. And this isn't just dirt, guys. This is a substance literally teeming with the torment of trapped souls. So driven by this absolute obsession to conquer death, they started experimenting. They took this soul-infused soil and they combined it with the skulls of the withered skeletons roaming the fortresses. 3 blocks of soul sand, 3 skulls. It was this dark, twisted alchemy.
And the sheer tragedy here is what they were actually trying to do. They genuinely thought they were creating life. Instead, they unleashed an apocalypse. They birthed this unstoppable demon of pure decay, the Wither. This flying monstrosity didn't just turn on its creators, it consumed literally everything in its path. Just imagine the horror for a second. Crops instantly withering away, rich soil turning to dead ash, and these grand, beautiful cities getting absolutely leveled to dust by exploding blue skulls. Now, the builders fought back, obviously, but their diamond swords and enchanted bows, completely useless. How do you fight a creature that actually heals itself from the destruction it causes? You can't. The overworld was lost.
Section 3, Flight to the Void.
Realizing there was no way to defeat the beast they made, the survivors of this once great civilization had exactly one option left. They had to run. But, where do you even go when your entire world is being eaten alive by decay? It was this rapid, totally panic-stricken descent. First, they lose the overworld. Driven off the surface, they retreat deep, deep underground, frantically building these fortified bunkers, the dark, mossy stone brick labyrinths we call strongholds today. And right there, in the deepest, darkest chambers, they pulled the absolute last of their magical resources. They built a new gateway, hoping to find a dimension completely cut off from their war-torn home. They slotted in the Eyes of Ender, activated that starry void portal, leaped through to escape the apocalypse, and sealed the door right behind them.
They thought they were safe. The portal was closed, right? No way the Wither could reach them now. But they had just traded one nightmare for another.
The dimension they just desperately hurled themselves into? Yeah, it was no sanctuary.
The harsh reality of their new home was incredibly bleak. The end was just this barren void of pale stone, suspended in absolute pitch-black darkness, and totally ruled by a tyrannical master, the Ender Dragon. So now they're trapped on these floating islands, the portal is sealed behind them, and their situation is dire. There's no wood to make tools, no water to drink, absolutely zero soil to plant their crops. To simply survive, they had to adapt to this totally alien environment, and that meant their one and only source of food became this strange, purple, space-warping organic matter growing out in the void, the chorus fruit.
Section 4. The Enderman Tragedy.
So think about this. What actually happens to a human civilization when they are locked in a dark void for centuries, eating literally nothing but magically infused fruit that warps space? The contrast is staggering. On one side, you've got the ancient builders, right? Human, powerful, the ultimate master architects. And on the other side, you have the Endermen. Over countless centuries, the teleporting properties of that chorus fruit literally rewrote their biology. To blend into that endless dark void, their bodies stretched out. They turned incredibly tall, thin, and pitch black. Their eyes, which used to be human, mutated to glow with this haunting purple light. The endless isolation and the magic completely eroded their minds. They forgot their rich language, they forgot their own names, they forgot their grand history. The ancient builders were just gone, and in their place stood these mindless husks.
Honestly, understanding this lore completely changes how you experience the game. Really think about it for a sec. This is exactly why Endermen can teleport. It's why they scream in that terrifying, agonizing pain when you look them right in the eyes. It's a tragic, fractured reminder of a time when they actually had human faces too, and making eye contact triggers this painful flash of the humanity they lost. And, maybe the most heartbreaking part of all, this explains why you sometimes just see them aimlessly wandering around holding a single block of dirt or grass. They aren't trying to build something new. They are desperately, subconsciously, just trying to remember how to.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty profound question. When you play, you really aren't just punching trees and building a cozy house. You're walking through the ruins of a fallen empire. You're literally picking up the tools of the ancient builders and finishing a journey that they started. So when you finally travel to the end, when you strike that final blow and defeat the Ender Dragon, are you really just beating a video game boss? Or are you actually setting free the souls of the master architects who have been trapped in the dark for eternity? Definitely keep that in mind the next time you see a tall, dark figure teleport across your screen, just holding a single block of earth. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope it sparks a whole new level of curiosity for your next adventure.